Welcome to another episode of Moonshots. As you know, every week we bring an amazing guest with great moonshots who inspire you, who tell you exactly what to do to achieve the most audacious goals. And this week is absolutely no exception. This week I have Stephanie with me. And Stephanie, what's your moonshot?
My moonshot is teaching people how to walk into their fears to embrace the life of their dreams, which is purely through love.
Wow. You got to tell me a whole lot more about that now.
I hope to. My desire for people is freedom. And in our society now, we have this idea that we are pursuing life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And as a personal trainer and fitness professional, I experience that every day of bringing people in that maybe aren't having the best day and life is getting in the way and their bodies are tightening up and they're getting sick and they're in pain and they're stressed out, but they're pushing through it. They're motivated. Like they know that they have the willpower to survive, but they can't always tap into that.
So what would you do with them?
I allow them to look at themselves and to observe. And oftentimes we don't observe what we're doing, we judge what we're doing. And through that judgment, we create all of these other emotions that are kind of getting in the way of what our purpose is and what our own moonshot is.
So tell me again, so when you used to look at themselves, it's not just like looking in front of a mirror and admiring yourself. That's not what you're talking about.
That's not what it is. Although oftentimes the advice that we're given is look in the mirror and tell yourself how amazing you are and how beautiful you are. But what can get in the way is we don't believe it. What we see in the mirror is our judgment. And so when we're allowed to look at the judgment and ask, what am I afraid of? What is holding me back? But then what are the next steps after we can actually observe ourselves?
So is it like just, different way of saying just be in love with who you are, fall in love with yourself, and when you fall in love with yourself, the world will fall in love with you?
Absolutely. And that's what we hear to get to that point. But then the simple steps to get there, the actual doing is where we get caught up in it because we've got the motivation. We start January 1st and we set that goal, or we start on Monday.
And then it ends on Thursday.
If we're lucky, we get that far, right? Because then the first time we stumble, instead of accepting that we're gonna stumble, we expect perfection. Mm-hmm. And so we're constantly seeking, most of us, perfection. And it's not attainable.
Yeah. So mostly, I think a lot of the people who start on January 1, they want to get the whole last year they didn't work out, and they want to work out 4 hours a day just to make up for all the stuff they never did. And they never last. I mean, it lasts 2 days and it's like, this is too much.
Right. They're overwhelmed. And so the long game overwhelms the short game and the steps disappear.
So how would you do it? So how would you give us some advice? I mean, obviously we all gone through it. I work out regularly, and that means probably about once a year, right? So it's pretty regular, but at least once a year I definitely get it in, right?
And that awareness alone is where we start. And so instead of saying I need to work out 5-6 days a week and I'm gonna 4 hours in the gym and I'm gonna eat perfectly and all these things, it's like back up just one step or maybe 20, and let's just start with 1% of your day. 5 minutes. Start with 5 minutes.
What would you do in 5 minutes? I feel it's like such a waste of time.
Exactly. So it's too little but too much, but it's attainable. And so I always stay with 3 steps. No matter what you're doing, keep it simple. 1, 2, 3.
So what is 1, 2, 3 here? So
1, 2, 3 would be wake up.
Yeah. We do. Hopefully every one of us wakes up every day. Because if not waking up. One down.
We made it, right? Okay. We have the rest of the day ahead of us. Drink some water.
Okay.
Most people are not drinking water, and we're affected by the moon and the water in our body. And so if there's any dehydration or hydration or imbalance in the system, it will be reflected.
You just threw something in there about the moon part.
So we're
going to get back to it in a second here, but keep going here.
So water is what we're made of, and everything around us all has to do with water. But water is one of the elements that we really don't understand that well, and we're learning more about every day. Seems simple, but...
So 2 things now. What's the third?
The third one is breath.
Okay.
We need to breathe. What's happening within our tissue and within our body is that we don't take deep breaths.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time when I have my clients come in and work out, I have them start with one breath.
Okay.
And I teach them how, right?
So it's not just about breathing, it's about breathing right.
Breathing right.
So everyone
Correct.
wakes up, almost everyone at least drinks a glass of water. And then every one of us, at least when they're alive, they're breathing. You're saying they may be doing it wrong. They are waking up wrong. They're probably not drinking enough, and they're probably breathing incorrect. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so how do you fix all three of them?
You start simple.
Okay. So in waking up, what do? You jump out of the bed is the best thing, or you slow down, you laze around for a while? What's the best waking up?
Yeah, the best way to wake up, I follow Ayurvedic practices,
Yeah.
and that is between the hours of 6 and 10 a.m. Your body is easing into waking up. Some of us are going to get up and go, but most of us need to acclimate.
6 a.m. to 10 a.m.
6 a.m. to 10 a.m.
You must be listening to different Ayurveda, because in my Ayurveda, it talks about before the sunlight.
Well, wake up by 6.
Or
6 to 8. So the whole initial first part, the kapha part of the day, is that progression.
Okay.
So waking up with the sun is ideal. 6 to 8, getting that ready, starting to move.
So I get up at 4 a.m., so I'm doing something wrong.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I wake up about 4 a.m. as well.
Okay.
That's my prime time.
So you're doing just fine then.
I'm doing just fine.
So not waking up at 6 is not required. 4 a.m. is okay. Okay,
Nope.
good.
And that's part of the progression of the
Okay.
3-step program.
Okay.
Is finding out what's best for you and having guidelines as opposed to hard rules. And that's what we do. We set rules.
So you wake up, and then what happens then? So you jump out of the bed, or you may want to what's the Ayurveda way of waking up?
Ayurvedic way of waking up is smiling first thing in the morning.
Okay, good.
Smile on your face. Yep.
Okay.
Take a deep breath.
Okay.
Be grateful that you're awake. You actually woke up today. That's
a big thing.
tally.
Check mark.
Check mark. Take your breaths, which bring you into where you're at. And then one of my favorite things is setting my intention for the day. What do I want from today?
What do you normally want every day?
I want to go with the flow so that I
that's
can
not really,
find the magic.
So there's not intent then. There's no intention there.
The intention is, and this is where I've gotten in my way, where I've set these goals and I have this long game. But then instead of having expectations of this is exactly how I want my day to go, I have a general idea that today I'm going to go to work and today is my creative day. So I'm going to create today. I'm not going to be learning. I'm not going to be studying. I'm going to create. So I'm going to create an opportunity to create, which means between the hours of 4 and 6, once I finish my morning routine, I will then go into my creative state.
Okay.
And when I get to create is when I get into flow and I get out of the way.
Okay, so got it. So you're saying the intention can be very specific, or it can be much more broader. For me, the intentions always tend to be, I'm going to do something that is going to be meaningful, that's going to probably help 1 billion people someday. That means I'm going to take a step towards doing things that actually could someday would help 1 billion people.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And in that, your mindset and your training and your routines and the incredible things that you've done have got you to this point. For me, the people that I reach and the people that I want is to bridge the gap for the 85% that are overweight and obese.
Okay.
Who don't have that go get 'em attitude every single day.
But a lot of people who are listening to this are actually the people you're talking to. So
Yes.
let's just break it down here. So you want them to wake up, so let's just go very simply. So they're listening to this now, right?
Yep.
So you and I are gonna work through with them, right?
Yep.
We're gonna wake up in the morning, no later than 6 a.m., right?
Correct.
So you're gonna get up by 6 a.m.
Yes.
You're gonna take a deep breath. You're gonna smile, and you're gonna be thankful. God, thank you, because at least I woke up. Because not many, some of us probably didn't get a chance to wake up today, right?
Right.
So thank God. Do you thank the person next to you if there is someone next to you, and tell them how much you love them?
The most important.
Good. So we got out of the way.
Right.
Now we set the intention for the day, right? So we set the intention, say, today is going to be my day when I do X, whether it's a creation, whether it is doing something that you really wanted to do. You set your intention, and then you wake up and you follow through.
Follow through.
Right. So you're going to do your thing. The next 2 hours, you're going to follow through on your intention.
Correct.
Right. Now what?
Now we move through the day.
Okay.
So we've been inspired. We've created. We have our plan. We know we're going to change the billion lives of people, 7+ billion lives today. That is our purpose. Now, what are we going to say yes to today? What are we going to engage with today? What are we going to be inspired by? And what steps take us there? And understanding that the expectations that we have as people who are so driven and thrive for perfection tend to get in our own way when we expected that we were going to go to that meeting, and then I was going to sign that proposal, and then I was going to get on their program, this progression of ideas. But then we hit a roadmap. We hit a block. We hit a ping or a trigger, and we spill coffee all over our outfit, and things go in one direction. To have the ability to stop, reset, and find that intention, 1, 2, 3, bring it back. There's so many people who have amazing purpose. Everyone has a purpose. Through the simple steps, we come into that purpose.
So let's bring back here. So let's stay focused on people who want to lose weight. There are lots of people, lots of us, including me. I want to lose weight. So I got to the point, I set the intention, and now what? So now I take 5 minutes. Remember, you start with 5 minutes, and I'm going to do 3 things in that 5 minutes to move towards losing weight. And those 3 things are going to be?
Move the joints.
Move the joints. So what am I going to do now? So is there something specifically you will tell me to do?
Yep, I always go head to toe or toe to head.
Okay.
So every joint needs to move in every way, every day.
So let's start. Let's do right here. So let's go with that. Start with the top.
Start with
how
that.
are you going to do that?
You're going to take a deep breath in and elongate the spine. And then you're going to relax the shoulders and look to the side. And then deep breath, long and in with the spine. Relax to the side. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, drop it down. And then just move the shoulder up and down. Just move it around, up and down, right and left, forward and back, and then see if it'll go into a circle. And then go back into the other circle, and then bring the head back up. And then deep breath in. Drop, up and down, right and left, move it around. Come back up to the top. And it's just that progression, 1 to 2 reps per joint.
Okay.
That we're not getting. So we're all go-getters, but we're sitting in these chairs,
so
not
now,
moving the bodies.
How do we go below that now?
Below that. So you want to keep going?
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay. So if you've got the shoulders, most people have challenges moving the shoulders. So if you move the shoulders up, high as you can, almost to touch the ears, and then push them down as low as you can. Keep pushing. Then bring it up, then push it back down. Now what you're going to try to do is take your shoulders and go all the way back. Yeah, perfect. Behind the chair and all the way forward. Round it forward. All the way open, all the way forward, and then just kind of scrub. So your shoulders are just moving back and then open and then scrub back and forth from there. So bring your hands to the chair.
Did you notice that Laura is doing it with us?
Yes, perfect. Perfect. Because this is actually, I think that we're devolving as humans with our cell phone and this head down.
Oh my God. That attack neck?
Yes, tech neck. It actually, that's what it's being called now because it's most relatable. So dogwart's hump is actually what it is. And children are starting to get it.
Oh my God.
And so we get this big hump on our neck.
Yes, how do I fix it?
So we need to bring the head over the spine to create alignment. And we need to
really odd, isn't
retrain. It feels odd. It looks like you're sitting up and your posture is great. These big muscles right here, they actually get really short. So if you look to the side, and this is a really great trick.
Oh my God.
You grab your sternocleidomastoid muscle, or you can just call it an SCM, and you kind of get a hold of it. Now relax it to your shoulder so you can kind of work your fingers all the way up that tissue.
Oh my God. Yeah. It feels good.
And then go all the way back down, and it connects down into your clavicle there.
Yeah.
Now that you've got it, kind of start to move that tissue around and keep the slack in it. And just notice there should be about 4 trigger points that usually.
I feel them. Oh my God,
they shouldn't be there.
Oh God.
So
I feel them.
Okay, now let's check the other side. So relax first. Yep. Grab a hold of it. Start to pinch, followed up. So one might be tighter than the other. They both might be pretty tight.
Oh, both are pretty tight.
Both are pretty tight because what's happening is for every inch your head goes forward, you double the weight of the head. So now you go 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch. So if your head weighs 10 pounds, its average is 8 to 6.
Like 40 pounds of weight on my
Right.
head.
Now bring the angle down. Now they're saying that's the same as a golf tee and a bowling ball sitting on top of it.
I hate those. How are you going to fix that?
So bring the hands behind the head and bring the elbows forward. Now bring the chin to the chest. You're gently going to push the head with control. So kind of like doing a slow bicep curl. And then open all the way up, and you're pushing into that tension, and then bring it all the way in and relax without any resistance. And then create resistance, push into the hands, open up the elbows. So you're feeling that pushing of the resistance. So you're turning on the whole back of the neck. And then for this third one, you're going to use your tongue to push it up to the bridge of the mouth as you do the same thing.
Okay.
So you tuck the chin, push the tongue, like you're forcing it up through the brain. And then as you're doing it, push. So from the inside and the outside, you're retraining that tissue in the back of the neck to start working.
I got to do this every day.
Every day. So I have these little 3 to 5 minute videos for people.
Okay.
Depending, like start.
So where do they go
minute.
to find these videos?
These are on my YouTube. They're on my
how
programs.
Do you find them?
Stephanie Nix is my name, so you're going to be able to find
N-I-C-K-S?
it. NYX, so kind of like the makeup.
So Stephanie with an A.
Stephanie with an A and a PH.
PH.
A-N-I-E.
Yeah.
Nix, N-Y-X.
Okay, .com.
Got
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
All right.
So guys, listening to it, right? I'm telling you, just last 2 minutes, I feel so much better. So listen to her. Okay.
Thank you. Awesome.
So now what? So we did that. So neck fixed it.
Yep.
Got the shoulder fixed. And we just go all the way down to the hips and the knees and the ankle and just keep going through it.
Just keep going.
Okay, so that's the number 2 thing.
That's the number 2 thing.
Wow, okay.
Yes. Now, the number 3 thing, so we kind of have these sections, and you just described the sections. Well, what we've recently learned is our body doesn't work in sections like that.
Unfortunately not.
Unfortunately not. We are one moving, connected, incredible unit.
Yeah.
And so these muscles here actually follow through and attach all the way down the core. So everyone wants that 6-pack, right? But those are also...
I want a 12-pack.
12-pack. Bring it on. Let's start training together. We just have to get that whole front line of the tissue. So it goes all the way down your core, down through the quads, over the kneecaps, and attaches into the toes.
Holy cow.
One layer.
Really?
There's a front layer, there's a back layer, there's a side layer, there's a middle layer, then that deep tissue layer. And so we're moving our body in sections, not understanding it's one whole piece.
Yeah.
And that interconnected system of fascia is just like the brain. It's very intelligent and it remembers things. So, like when you sit down, if you sit down for a really long time, let's say you're in a movie, and then you get up and you almost feel like you're imprinted in the chair. Like you can kind of feel that tissue. Ouch. And you kind of you got to move around and get the tissue to go back to normal. Well, that's actually called creep. So it's a thing that our tissue does because our tissue is both, our fascial system is both a liquid and a fiber and a solid. It changes forms pretty consistently. If you've played with cornstarch and water, it can go into a solid. That's what the tissue has done. But too many times where you get that sensation and the tissue starts to get damaged and incoherent. And so creating coherence through the body is where we get the tissue to move and flow a lot better.
So your moonshot really is if you can fix all people to actually be at their best, right?
Yes.
So if they can be physically at their best, they can be mentally at their best, right?
100%.
Right. Awesome.
Yes.
So, so people who want to now lose weight, they woke up, they did all the gratitude thing, they smile, they did this 5 minute of movement now, right? So they went from top to the bottom. Now, third thing.
Third thing is what we're putting in our body the rest of the day.
Oh my God. Okay.
Right. So what we're putting in our body doesn't just mean what we're putting in our mouths, although that is having a very large effect on the population. What we're putting in our minds, what we're putting in our stomach, and then how our body can interpret that information is exactly what's happening with the fascia, which is what's happening with the emotions, what is happening with our gut. And all of that is separation. And if we can bring all those things together and start to eat for what our body is telling us and eat for the things that make us feel good, it becomes much easier.
So that we know how to do. So, I started a company to do that, right?
Right.
So you analyze your gut. It tells you exactly what your body needs. Now the question really comes down to is that's easy. You know what you need and what you should not be eating just for you. But then what? How do how do you make sure that you're putting the right things in your mind?
That is the best question. What we put in our mind is all, for me, about vibration. So words have vibration. Food has vibration. Everything is energy. So setting yourself up for that success of listening and following people who are doing this type of thing, they're creating positivity in the world. The people that you're surrounding yourselves with, especially your family or the people that maybe are challenging and triggering you, that can keep us from our moonshot.
Like listening to great podcasts?
Absolutely, we have to.
Other than Moonshots, is there anything else you really like?
Other than Moonshots, I do have a few people that I follow.
Which ones?
Dave Asprey is one of the leading experts.
I love Dave.
I can definitely say he saved my life.
Oh, Dave, you're listening to it, right?
Dave, you saved my life. I am eternally grateful. I can't wait to meet you because I had seen his work, Bulletproof. I've been doing Bulletproof Coffee for about 2.5 years. And I started to get really bad brain fog. And I ate really well. I was following all the right things. The gut testing wasn't there yet, so it was more like shooting in the dark. And I found his book, Headstrong. And I got on this program of fueling my mitochondria and taking care of my body in a different kind of way. And it was incredible and amazing. And all
Did you read the whole book?
I did read the whole book many times.
Do you know what the last chapter was?
Not offhand.
Why?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Right. I've been back in deep research in the mitochondria and the cellular level right now because what happened. Thank you, Dave. Really, really appreciate you. I was doing his program and everything was working. And then not all of a sudden, it progressively stopped working for me. And I was doing everything and all the right research. And so I was getting sick and my brain fog was coming back and all these things were happening. Well, I had 2 plastic implants that were killing me from the inside. And I had no idea that it was happening. And through my research, I knew my mitochondria is in alignment, my gut is good, all of these things are good, something else is happening.
Contamination.
And I had complete contamination. So inflammation was coming from somewhere, but I couldn't figure out where. Well, the deeper I went into, I was able to figure out, okay, it's my liver. My liver is having challenges. And so I would go to see doctors and specialists and nobody could figure out what was wrong with me, and my body was breaking. So randomly, my brother sent me a text or a Instagram text of check out this person, and she was having her implants removed. And they were talking about this cancer that it's creating and this illness. And so I saw 2 different doctors who both told me I was crazy and that I should not get them out. One of them did take them out, recommending against it the whole time. And then when she did the surgery, she ran for $4,000 worth of testing because she believed that I had the cancer that was caused by these implants. So luckily I don't, but I do have the residual, right? All of that inflammation and toxins of plastic in my body for 2.5 years.
Oh my God.
And so I've been in this healing
So would you
state.
advise people to stay away from those implantations?
Absolutely.
I'm assuming, do you want to talk about what they are or just not?
I would love to.
Okay,
absolutely. So for me, it was just something I was always going to do. And it was just a matter of time. And then when I got them, it was fine and dandy and all of those things.
I'm assuming you're talking about breast implants.
Breast implants, absolutely. Okay. So I'm doing all of these things that are part of Dave's program, right? And so I'm not drinking out of plastic bottles, and I'm making sure I'm doing.
But you put in
all
plastic
these things
inside the body.
It's like hello, the big warning thing inside of me, but it wasn't even on my radar. I couldn't even anticipate that this could possibly be causing that, because I spent a lot of time researching and making sure I had the best ones that were the safest and all of these things, and they were textured. And they've just taken textured implants off the market, and they're legal in many different countries. And so then, of course, finding out how the liver works and how the liver pushes plastics into the core and holds it there, and then can do these herxing things, when all of a sudden I'd be healthy, and then boom, panic attacks, anxiety, depression, which I've never had an issue with.
Wow. So you've gone through a lot, but thank God you're finally in the best shape of your life.
The best.
You're loving your life. So Stephanie, here we are getting close to the end of this podcast. And I know I could probably go on for another hour just talking to you about the things we can do to be at our best. I would love for you to end this podcast, look right directly into the eyes of the audience and tell them, what would you advise them to do to be at their best?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My journey has taken me many different places. And for me, my best advice that I can give you is to trust yourself more than anybody else in the world. And if you don't have a relationship with yourself yet like that, find me. I'll teach you how to trust yourself. I'll teach you how to take care of yourself so that you can take care of other people and go after your moonshot.
Well, Stephanie, this has been just absolutely amazing podcast. And thank you for fixing my name.
Thank you.
I've absolutely enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing you again sometime in the near future.
I do as well.
You
Thank
take
you.
care of yourself.